Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. This is part 2 of a series where we are revisiting the Summer Wells case with Fred, Ziggy, and Donna Seraphina. So if you guys missed the first part, be sure to watch that later after this stream. And if you're unsure of kind of where we're going with this, I definitely think you should refer back to that first, listen there, and then go from here. Again, once more. So on our last stream, we left off discussing day 1, so the day that Summer Wells actually vanished. And Fred, you told us a lot of jaw-dropping information. It was very, very interesting. And I know that the audience was very interested in it also. Donna, weren't you shocked by a lot of it?
Yeah, I was especially shocked. There was a lot of new things that I didn't know. I knew that there was rumors of Andy Bernard being up and down that road at the time Summer went missing. But what I didn't know, and what Fred told us, was that Andy Bernard only admitted he was on that road when the police showed him surveillance camera footage from other neighbors. So in other words, he lied to the police about his whereabouts and to the general public, according to Fred. And so that puts him there. And Fred said when he was coming back out of the hollow, he seemed to be coming out in conjunction, I think he said, with a blue pickup truck, so that there was another person as well as him tailing him on the way. I think that's what Fred said. You can correct me if I'm wrong. And then the other thing that was big for me was that George Bernard, who is Andy's father, was standing at the end of the road trying to figure out what people got information. And then that is weird in itself. And then Don Wells, when he went to Fred Hill's house that night, he didn't ask to look around, because if my daughter was missing, I'd be like, can I look in your garage? Can I look around your house? Can I look in your closets? Totally. In fact, I would probably be kicking in doors. Instead, Fred says that Don Wells went there and didn't even ask to look for Summer. He was just talking about, oh, well, I'll see her again in the rapture, which is, if you don't know, when the Christians believe that dead people suddenly raise from the dead. Newsflash, they're never die to begin with. But so that's how Don Wells was talking. Another thing was that I had told Fred that I saw a hunchback guy around the barn where I saw a trade-off happen with Summer, where Summer was delivered to some other people. And Fred identified the barns up there in the hollow as being across this road from Andy Bernard's uncle, John Smith, now deceased, one of the 20 or so people now deceased around the bottom of this crime. Or Doug Gott, who also was staying next door to John Smith. He's now dead as well. And he also frequented that area and the area on Stardust where there's a barn. So we've pretty much identified the two likely trade-off places for Summer Wells. And then, so then Fred took us through the first day, what he experienced the first day. And that's what that 2-hour live stream is about. It's really interesting. I am glad to be able to give Fred a platform. I am sick and tired of these freaking Bernards. I am sick. I'm so tired of them. It's time to call it out. That's how I feel. And that's why I'm here. Yeah. So welcome, Fred. Welcome. You're among good company on this one. I'm over the Bernards.
Well, what I'm over is the whole infighting stuff. We are all here because we're interested in justice for Summer Wells. Whatever it is that happened to her, we want to make sure that the people who perpetrated this violence are held accountable. So why are we not uniting, coming together, and actually making change in a positive direction? Instead, it's like creator versus creator, and then Donna gets attacked, I get attacked, Ziggy and Fred get attacked. For what? What do you think you're doing to make a positive difference in the case at all if you're fighting? We want to see that the people who did this come to justice. Like, that should be number one mission. Nothing else, no infighting, no gossiping. just get with the program, people. Donna is a great resource. Fred is a great resource. The hope was bringing the two together, that maybe Fred Hill could make sense of what Donna had seen when she channeled this, August of 2021. This information is not new. I mean, she saw this a long time ago. It's that she's now connecting to things she saw, and Fred is finding meaning, or let's say assigning value to what she saw. Yeah.
When I described about Candace turning a person turning a different way than you'd expect off Ben Hill Road, and he knew right away. He said, "Oh, that meant she went up into the hollow," and then I told him about the guy with the hunchback, and it was pretty easy from there to identify the two barns that are associated with that guy, who's now dead. So it really doesn't matter if we talk about him. He's one of, like I said, probably about 20 people that are now dead.
I've never seen anything like this, guys. Have you? In any case that we followed, so many dead people associated.
No, but it makes me wonder, am I just like is there really an influx of people passing away, or am I just like paying attention to it? Is it, but it really does seem abnormal. Like it seems so to many.
It does. It's so bizarre to me. Yeah.
Well, one thing all these people have in common is that they may have seen something. Like I have no doubt in my mind, if Fred went back there, he'd be found dead too. No doubt.
Oh, I know. I think it's so great that he's not there any longer. Safer for him. Okay.
So on that first live stream, we went through day one, and it surprised even me. The information that came out surprised even me, and I'm not surprised very easily.
Right.
So then we were going to start with day two. Like, when you wake up the next day, what happens, Fred?
Pretty much just the law enforcement, they're off and on all day and stuff. I mean, I was trying to think what happened first that morning. They had came and asked some questions and stuff, and that we had went and I'd showed them some different locations. I rode around with them most of that day.
Well, so you rode around with law enforcement?
Yes. There's 4 of them I rode around with that day. And we went to certain places that, like when you go out Ben Hill and turn left, the first driveway on the right, there's some wells and stuff that I was pointing out to them and stuff and showing them where they were just asking if any well, if I could show them where wells and stuff was, where I was raised up there all my life, pretty much knew where everything was, or septics, any kind of buildings that's kind of tucked away that they didn't know about and stuff. So we mostly was on Simpson Loop, which is straight across from the shed at the bottom, if people don't know. And I was showing them places on that road and stuff, joining Beach Creek, that a lot of wells, septic systems, houses that there's one house particular that we went to check because it's been known for people to hide out from the law and stuff on that actually had power on it, but it appeared that nobody lived there. It's all growed up, trees all around it, everything.
Yeah, they just kicked that one right in, didn't they?
Yeah, when we walked up to it, they just kicked the door in and went straight in on it because they suspected somebody in there.
What kind of vehicle were you guys riding around in? Was it a marked vehicle?
No, it was a maroon Dodge truck, 4-door.
Okay.
Were you privy to any of their conversation, like about what they thought? Because clearly they suspected Don Wells being involved in this disappearance from the very beginning. And so I'm wondering, what kind of things did you overhear them talking about?
I mean, at first they was talking about they suspected him owing a drug debt and stuff. That's what they wanted me to record on and try to hit on Don, was about who he owed and stuff like that. And try to talk to him about, no matter how much money and stuff he owed, if that we could get her back and stuff, if long he knew where to go about getting her and all that.
That's what they were telling you to say, is just say we could get him up with the money.
Yeah, no matter how much money, whatever. I mean, that can be handled as long as we know where to take the money and stuff too.
Wow, Fred. Why do I say wow? I say wow because August 2021, Donna, people want me to introduce or give a little more background info. Let me tell you real quick. Donna, I found Donna in 2020 after I literally with my own eyes and ears witnessed her solve an entire case like 4.5 months before these missing kids were found in their stepdad's backyard. So when they were found, I reflected back that I felt like I had heard that information before, right? It was egregious. They had very egregious murders. And so I went back to Donna's, I picked to her video, her actual video. It picked up where it left off. And my mind was blown because I was hearing these details that only like, I don't know, a couple months later started to kind of trickle out when Chad Daybell had his preliminary hearing. So the long and short of it is Donna has over the years taken on many cases that we followed and always gotten to the nitty gritty details before we ever heard about it from mainstream media or law enforcement. And in the case of Summer Wells, what's really blown my mind right now is in August of 2021, Donna stated that she felt that Summer's disappearance was basically due to a drug debt that the parents had incurred, namely Dawn, right? But it was really Candace who wanted to get rid of her. And so hearing you say that, Fred, blows my mind because that's what Donna said. That was part of it.
And part of it was jealousy on the part of Candace and this things that they were doing, trading their daughter for around the neighborhood. I mean, you're going to have to read behind the lines a little bit here. They were doing things that they could have went to prison for and would lose their other kids. So they wanted her gone. And there was also dynamics within the house where power dynamics where Summer's realizing she does have a little play against her mother. These kind of things where Candace wasn't not a suitable person to be a mother at all.
Right. Yeah. And I feel like that's come out a lot over the years, especially when she lost the other kids, when Child Services took them about a month or two into this.
Yeah. So she smashed her 2-year-old son's head to the point where she cracked his skull, and he had to live for decades or many years in a group home because of severe brain damage. And then on Don Wells' part, he did sell, according to his ex-wife, he did sell one of his kids to drug dealers already. Kids he had 20 years prior, and that ex-wife went and had to retrieve the little boy that Don Wells already sold. So this would not be his first time.
Right. And to clarify, Candace, the son that she hurt, battered, we'll say, that was in her first set of kids. So she basically had 2 sets of kids. She had her daughter and son years ago, and then she had these 4 kids, in the last 17 years, whatever.
By the way, they knew, law enforcement had mentioned the day of that Summer's disappearance in front of Fred, they had mentioned about the other child, Dawn trying to sell the other child. So they knew about that incident.
Okay.
The day Summer went missing.
So it has to be in a database or something somewhere for them to know that right off.
Okay.
Most likely.
So interesting.
And probably they received phone calls, because could you imagine if it goes public that your ex-husband's kid just disappeared when he already sold your kid? You know?
And I remember Mary, Don's sister, she was like screaming from the rooftops, check him out. Like she was very concerned. Yeah.
Exactly. But it's just so weird. I bring it up because it's so weird. We didn't know that law enforcement knew the day of, because we figured they found out about it when Mary told them, Mary and the other sister told them about it. But I guess they had to have known on the day of.
That is so interesting. Wow.
Something else too about we were talking a little bit before. I was about like the day after Summer's disappearance and he was trying to remember exactly what was on the 17th. And you think that dream story, right? You heard about that on the 17th? Like,
No, that was on the 16th. That was on.
oh, I'm sorry, 16th. Yeah, we're on the 16th. I keep saying.
Yeah, 16th.
Okay.
Yep.
16th.
Okay, yeah, let's go back to the 16th then,
Yeah.
Fred, and tell us everything about driving around with these cops and what they were talking about,
please.
even amongst each other and stuff like that.
Well, they just trying to, at that point, they were just trying to figure out locations and stuff and search every location that was off of Ben Hill, while the other main searchers, like the fire department, rescue squad, all that was actually searching mainly Ben Hill. They was wanting to hurry and expand outward and trying to find abandoned houses, stuff like that, and wells, septics, anything that she could been put or anything at that point.
And you witnessed, Stephen, earlier, something I had never heard before. You would witness them, like while you were in the car with them, like the searchers would contact them and be like, "Oh, we're finding drugs in this house or that house," and
yeah, they was getting the
searchers.
They was getting annoyed with that because when I was with them trying to take them to different locations and stuff. Where the one I was working with is head drug task force, and he's with the special tactics unit too. Anyway, they was contacting him just every little bit, every house that they was going in seemed like and wanting to take and have them charged or whatever from what they was seeing in the houses and stuff, the paraphernalia and all that. Almost it seemed like every house they went in seemed like.
So real,
and they're like, we're not here for that right now. We're here trying to find Summer, and that's all.
Yeah,
they were getting annoyed with all of the other stuff that they was trying to do, and when they were just there trying to
all
find
the police
Summer,
trying to, you know, press charges for
they
drugs
was wanting to
found and
arrest them
stuff, in
everybody.
people's houses that they were searching and paraphernalia, and they were actually, you know, saying, you know, no, actually, we're not going to be doing that. We're focusing on Summer. So that was a new one I heard. And also, the dream story too. Oh, sorry, keep going.
I mean, we went and searched a lot of Simpson Loop that day. From when you turn out Ben Hill and you turn left, the first driveway on the right, I showed them where a couple wells was on that property. And then we went on around Simpson Loop and I showed them where a couple houses was that appeared nobody lived in, but I done already knew that people had been hiding out from law enforcement and all that around in some of them houses and stuff, because the power and stuff was still on them houses, but nobody actually had resident there. I mean, actual living there. It just people that was running from law and stuff like that, hiding out. So we went around through there, and they kicked a couple doors in and went in and searched a couple places and searched the well or looked at the wells and stuff on the same pieces of property and stuff. And then I was trying to think if that was the day I was trying to think if I showed them the Field Road property on the first day or second day. Seemed like
if you showed them what property?
You showed them what property?
Fields Road property of Andy's parents.
Of Andy's parents?
Well, one of their properties on Fields Road. They have a property on Fields Road,
which is straight across from the command center where they'd set the command center up.
Nobody's living there now, but it was a property, right? There's nobody was living there at the time, really.
Because I mean, it kind of come up when Andy was talking about on the first day he was recording. He said something about they had went to the Fields Road property and stuff that day on the 15th.
Oh, Andy claimed that he had went on the Fields Road property on the 15th?
Yes.
Man.
And it was
that after he got caught lying to the police that he was even there at all?
He allowed that he went down there after he had got home and stuff. So I don't know.
Oh,
But
okay.
that was weird to you because
But that's why they was like, well, where's this property at? He's supposed to own, because we didn't know nothing about it until then. It seemed like they was talking about on the second day too about Andy and them refusing the search of the 125 property at that time.
That's so weird.
The day before. Seemed like they was mentioning it that day.
Oh, so
But they-
Andy Bernard not only lied to the police and got caught about being present at the time Summer Wells disappeared, but he also refused to let the police search his property, even though all these other neighbors with massive drugs, they were letting the police come search. But Andy Bernard would not let the police search his property.
Well, I think it was Jody that refused the search of it, because
how
she stated
convenient.
on her, when I was recording them that day,
Yeah.
she tried to say that she didn't want him to go in the house and stuff because he had guns and stuff in there, and he was a felon, and she was trying to keep him from getting in trouble. So I don't know. That's just what she had told on the recording. As reason she denied the search, supposedly.
but she'll come on here and say she didn't deny the search, you know.
Yeah.
So-
and-
But the police were letting people know they weren't there for drugs and other things. They weren't looking in drawers. They were looking for a child.
yeah.
And these people, Andy Bernard, lied
I
to
mean,
police
when they went
until
in
it
and
was proven on video that he really was there at the time Summer disappeared. This is the bottom line here. Sits there for 2 straight years as controlled opposition, whining and claiming that her husband is guilty of drugging the children. And what? Oh my God. Excuse me, but that's
I
what's
mean,
up.
they was searching the places and stuff. I mean, they was opening drawers. They was opening every little compartment that they seen.
Oh, okay.
searching
Did you
every
follow
little
them in
thing.
there in some of the houses? You followed them
Yeah.
in,
Yeah.
and they were opening drawer. They were looking for any kind of
They was looking for any trace of anything they could find.
Oh,
But
okay.
they weren't charging anybody with
No,
anything.
but
I mean, they were, but-
they were still looking in every little thing.
yeah.
Anything they thought that she could fit in.
Oh, well.
And they said anything size of a laptop computer
Oh, okay.
at
Anything
that time.
as big as a lap.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Jody could have just stuck the guns somewhere under something and said they
Right.
were hers or whatever. I mean, you know, a child is missing. An actual
Exactly.
child is missing.
That
Uh,
takes,
I mean, when
and
they came
now-
to my
So
house,
there's the second thing leading to potential red flags related to Andy Bernard. I'm
When-
tired of it. I'm tired. This
Yeah.
is about a little child missing. A
Yeah.
little child.
so he was about to say something about when they came to my house and searched. You were about to say something about.
oh, when they came to my house and searched, I didn't worry about the paraphernalia laying out and stuff. I mean, I let them straight in, and they went through my place,
Yeah.
and seen everything I had.
Oh, yeah,
Or-
and that's how it is in California
That's what
too.
should be.
It's like if there's a bigger deal going on, the cops
Right.
will come. They don't care
Because-
about anything.
Yeah.
No,
We're
they
not
wasn't
here about
there
drugs.
for
We're
the
not here
other
about this.
thing.
We're not here about that. And who would not let them come in except for someone right across the road who was complicit? Okay, go
And-
ahead, Fred.
and-
Sorry.
Hold on. Before he says anything else, can we also say that after Summer's vanishing or disappearance, everything dissolved? The whole family split. Jody,
Uh-huh.
Andy,
Oh, yeah.
it all broke.
Yeah.
apart. Why?
And in my criminal justice studies with my criminal justice bachelor's degree, guess what murderers do quite frequently? They freak out and they change their whole schedule. That's one of the ways police are on to them. But what happened here? Andy moved. 2 or 3 days later, he quits his job. He leaves Jody Sue. He goes off to work for a carnival, for a train.
Yeah.
And see, they didn't contain their dogs or nothing either up at 125. They was letting them get into it with the search dogs and all kinds of stuff.
What are you?
Because they had went on the 15th. I showed
What do you
them
mean
how-
it's Andy had supposedly went there on the 15th? Could you explain
well, where
that?
he had stated on recording that he had been there, had went down there on the 15th when I was recording and stuff. Said he had went to the Fields Road property, and he was surprised that the gate and stuff was up and didn't have no entrance into it and all that.
Hey, can I play this real quick?
Yeah,
Yep.
please go ahead.
Girls over there to be sedated and to be touched
Hold on, let's.
at 1:10. Y'all go over there and ask why exactly it is he was selling drugs to the children at 1:10. Why he was
He gets drunk.
potentially
She says,
causing
"Hey."
little girls over there to be sedated and to be touched with the shit he was selling over there. Go ask.
Okay, can you play that one more time? Just
Yeah,
one more
one more
time.
time, please.
At 1:10. Why he was potentially causing little girls over there to be sedated and to be touched with the shit he was selling over there. Go
No.
ask.
Rewind it to the part before that where she said this part.
Well, that's good.
This is crazy.
Y'all go over there and ask why exactly it is he was selling drugs to the children at 1:10.
Okay, and let's give some context. Ziggy, from what I remember, that was shortly after Andy started his career on YouTube, and he was chiming in and telling his side of the story, and she was getting pissed because she would hear about him being live. Am I remembering that correctly, Ziggy?
Well, here it says, okay, this was in August of 2022 over on let's see, Truth, Lies, and Alibis. I'll send it to you. But it says in the comments or underneath the video, it says I know this video is old, but wanted to just get it public opinion about the alleged allegations. So it was even older than that at that time, because August 2022 is when this channel posted it, and it's saying in the description that it's old. So she was saying this super early on. Yeah, she even said that they abused her and all this, and now all of a sudden she says maybe it wasn't her father that sold. I mean, she said he wasn't.
That's about her father.
I mean, yeah, her father was in prison for rape, but it wasn't. I don't know the age of the person, and he died in there.
Guys, real quick, I have to go off camera for a second and plug in for about 10 minutes. So I'm going to be off camera, but I'm listening and I'm here. Okay.
Okay. So you went over to the Fields Road thing, the Fields Road property owned by the Bernards, with the police on day 2, Fred?
Yes.
And what'd they do there?
They didn't enter the property at that point. They went back later on after they dropped me off to take and enter the property. I don't know.
Did they have to get a warrant?
I don't think so on it.
They just had to get permission or something like that?
Oh, they just entered it, I reckon.
Like a lot of the other places.
Yeah, most places they didn't have warrants or nothing when they went in. I don't know.
They just went in.
Other than just that Jody saying that she didn't want them in the house and stuff. Refused to search of the house that day. It's the only person I know of around there that refused to search.
So the only one refusing to cooperate is the wife of the one who lied to the police about being there. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, that'd be right there good information for a criminal trial. Because
at first I figured that may have been why George Bernard was at Ben Hill. Maybe they had to get him to get permission from him because she denied permission. That was my thought at first about George. Maybe
they could have done that over the phone.
Yeah.
They didn't need him to be there. And when you went up and saw George Bernard, was he questioning you to see what you saw?
George Bernard, was he questioning you to see what you saw?
No, because I just come back from Kingsport and pulled up on Ben Hill Road when he come and talked to me. He just said a few words to me.
It was Andy Bernard's father standing at the entrance to Ben Hill Road.
Yes, he didn't question me about nothing. He just come up and said that he thought he was my child at first that had went missing.
Interesting.
And I hadn't seen him there in like over 20 years probably. Well, since
he probably just wanted to see your reaction to if you would say anything.
That's a long.
Because when I pulled up to Ben Hill Road, I was having to sit out on Ben Hill. Out on Beach Creek Road, and I had to wait on to open up the road so I could pull onto it.
Yeah. So then on the third day, On the 17th, is that when you went and recorded the wells for the second time?
Well, I recorded Jody and Andy and Dawn some on the 15th, and then the 16th, Jody and Andy and their daughter.
Oh, what about
And
the dream thing? There's
And
that.
see, that's when the daughter brought up to Jody on the 16th was he took and asked Jody. She come down the hill and walked up to Jody, and she said that Andy had told her about seeing Summer's dead body.
I remember this.
And this was on your
And that was
recording?
on the 17th.
Was this on the
Okay,
I mean,
so-
not the 17th, but the 16th.
Okay, so on the 16th, you recorded
Was
Jody
this
Sue
recorded?
saying that Andy claimed he had seen Summer's dead body.
Well, the doctor took and walked down there and told Jody that Andy told her that he had seen Summer's dead body. And then that's when, because Andy wasn't standing there at the second, he was over across the road on the other side where the trash can and their car was parked from where we was standing at where I was recording. And she had hollered over there and told him to come over, and she said, "When did you see Summer's dead body?" And he said, "Oh, that was just a effing dream that I had." That's when he told her that.
So you
And
were
then
standing
she's
out
like-
there.
Then
Go ahead.
Jody asked him, he said, "Well, when did you see Summer last," or something like that? And he's like, "Well, I seen her on the 14th night when I was over there, but I didn't see her when I was over there on the earlier on the 15th.
Andy
she
claimed
said it
he
like he
didn't
was
see her
there.
on the
Yeah.
15th.
Okay. And you know what, guys? I'm thinking of something as you're saying this. Remember the interview with Chris McDonough? He interviews Hunter. Hunter says that he saw Candace's phone on the day of the 15th, and it said something like it was, so the sender was from Andy. He remembers the name being Andy. And the message said something like, "It's done." Do you guys remember this?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. There's another kind of.
You remember that, Fred?
Yeah, I remember it.
Yeah.
I
A
mean,
lot of circumstantial evidence.
It's very interesting. No doubt.
So all these different pieces
And he
too.
referred
All these
to
different
him
pieces
as
of
the
information
drug
coming
dealer
from different people.
as well.
So Fred, if I could understand you correctly, you're saying you were recording them and you were standing next to Jody and Don Wells, and Jody's daughter came up and said, "Dad said he saw Summer Wells' dead body."
Well, Don wasn't there when I was recording that time.
Okay,
was
who
just-
was there? Were
it
you
was
just standing there with Jody
It
Sue?
was just Jody and her daughter standing there, and Andy standing there when I was recording in. But Andy had stepped away when the daughter come down the hill and walked up to Jody and was telling her that.
So the daughter, so Jody's daughter came up the day of or the day after?
The day after Summer went missing.
The day after Summer went missing, Fred was recording Jody Sue. And Jody Sue's daughter came walking up and said, "Dad said he saw Summer Wells' dead body." So now we have Jody Sue claiming Andy had something to do with it. Jody Sue's daughter brings him in. It just goes on and on.
Hunter says Andy's name about the text. It's done, like Lauren just mentioned, and
Hunter says that, and the police caught Andy in a lie. Okay.
yeah, he tried to act like he couldn't remember what he was driving that day, and also if he was even on that road. It was crazy.
Yeah.
A day later, he couldn't remember what he was driving
Well,
for the
same
police.
day, same
Until they showed him a video of himself up in the hollow
same day,
with an unknown
same
vehicle.
day. Well, see, she's worried because of somebody else. I believe it's probably her son that Andy dragged in somehow. And that's just my opinion. I don't know that for a fact, but that would give her extra reasoning to want to protect, keep the truth from coming out.
I don't understand. So many people involved in this case are suddenly on YouTube. It's, actually involved there in the setting of the whole thing. And they are talking all the time on YouTube. That's nuts to me. Feels like they
Yeah.
haven't been investigated.
Why did hey Jody, why did Andy why did your son take a protective order out on Andy a month after Summer went missing? I want to know that. The son took out a protective order on Andy Bernard, on his own dad, like a month or two after Summer went missing.
In August, wasn't it?
You could
Yeah.
probably pull up that file and get a copy and see why. But hey, I have a question, Fred. Okay, so after Jody Sue's daughter comes over to you guys and says the dad's Andy Bernard, the dad, is claiming that he saw Summer Wells' dead body, what happens then? How does Jody react to that?
Well, she just asked him. She kind of looked at him, hollered at Andy, and asked him to come over. And when he come over, she asked him about what the daughter said, about him seeing Summer's dead body, and he's like, "Oh, that was just a effing dream I had," And then she's like, "Well, when did you see her last?" And he's like, "Well, I seen her last on the 14th when I was over there, 14th night when I was over there." But he said, "I didn't see her earlier today when I was over there on the 15th."
Wow.
Or earlier on the 15th when I was over there.
Yeah.
That's what he tried to say, but he tried to play it off to her like it was a dream, But
yeah, and then he went in and started packing so he could flee, right?
Yeah.
And
but Jody did act surprised, when her daughter said that to her.
Yeah.
Like, then I was watching somebody last night of Andy stating that, it had to be his daughter had to hear him and Jody talking about something or arguing because he hadn't said nothing to her first, but it wasn't like that by the recording and stuff. I mean,
You were there when
I was there when she first said something to Jody about Andy supposedly saying that he had seen Summer's dead body.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can remember Ziggy, who was that chick on YouTube that used to make the videos about Jody Sue? And there was one particular clip I remember hearing, can't remember this girl's name now, but it was Jody Sue telling that story that Andy had said he had seen Summer's dead body.
Was it Squall?
I don't remember. She became close with
Mm-hmm.
John. Remember that John guy? I think they became a duo.
John Q and Q Carlock.
It wasn't Q Carlock. It was this other.
Oh,
I just can't remember her name to
Oh,
save
well.
my life. But yeah, she had showed in her video that clip of Jody Sue actually talking about Andy's quote dream that he had seen Summer's dead body. And she even had her daughter tell the story, if I'm remembering correctly. Somebody get me that clip if you know where it is and put it in the chat. If anybody knows where that clip is, because it's out there. It's in circulation, guys. This is an
and if anybody else has saved a montage of clips where Jody blames Andy for all this, go ahead and send them. And if you know if she's ever mentioned exactly where Andy went to work,
right,
as a train conductor at like some little carnival type thing, let us know.
Guys, it was Penny. I'm remembering that.
Oh, yeah, Penny.
I don't remember her whole name on YouTube, but yes, it was Penny. And I remember
she used to go by Penny, but she changed to Fizzle. Yeah.
Okay, that's right. Yes. And Benny became close to her for a period
Mm-hmm.
of time.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember. Yes, it was Jody's daughter who told the story. And Jody had her daughter tell the story on YouTube. So there were a number of us that heard it. So Fred is telling the truth, if anybody's doubting.
Oh, Fred is absolutely telling the truth. And he was working with the police and helping record these people who wouldn't let their property be searched, who fled 2 days later, and who lied about being there at the exact time when Summer disappeared.
You should have seen the message, like the little messages, innuendos that, like when Jody Sue found out that she was recorded by Fred, because they didn't find out until, a guy on YouTube, like, I don't know, they didn't find out until a couple of years after. And she was sending little messages to Andy she's like, do you remember what we were like? She was like freaking out when, I wish we need to find that video too, when she was kind of trying to send him little messages.
Like
Like,
saying Jody Sue.
Can't think who it is.
what was that?
Ziggy, you're saying Jody Sue was commiserating with Fred about something?
No, she would go live and send Andy, like, you know, like when she cryptic messages and whatever.
I didn't
And
hear
when
that.
when she had found out, right after she had found out about Fred recording for the police and stuff, she went live and she was like talking to Andy, but live, basically, like
Cryptically
yeah,
okay,
yeah, and basically like you know, basically like, oh my God, do you remember what we were talking about during that time? Oh, there's the one. Oh, there's the guy that was snorting the drugs on our last live.
Oh, Donna, did you hear about that? People were accusing you or somebody else of sniffing drugs because they heard your dogs breathing.
Oh, they're heavy breathing.
Isn't that insane?
Yeah, I knew that because Donna's told us several times about her dogs, you know, snoring, and you could hear them in the background.
Yeah,
So
bulldogs snore. They definitely make noise.
do. Yeah,
And he's been sitting here on this chair next to me the whole time.
Wow, that is just fascinating.
he just walked away for a second, but
Okay,
Fred just didn't have a cigarette. But
yeah, Ziggy, that is so interesting. Look at how cute. Oh my gosh, she's so cute. How adorable. Oh my gosh, this just trips me out. This is information I haven't thought of or thought about in a really long time, Ziggy and Donna.
It's infuriating if you really think about that. This is a child. This is a little girl who went missing.
I know.
She would lie saying things like they had cameras, you know, the day of, and they didn't have cameras or anything. Fred was there when they put up their first camera after, you know, the day of Summer missing.
Once somebody lies to the police and says, no, I wasn't there, but then the police show them a video that they were there, from then on, nothing they say has any weight.
That's why I wanted her to answer.
That comes out of Andy Bernard's mouth that has any weight at all, and ditto for Jody Sue.
I never had a chance to ask her about that, about why she said that, and I wanted to ask her that while she was up here to get her lie straight to us, so I could play that. That's why I was doing that, because I want to be like, why did you say that?
We're on day 2, and then anything else happen on day 2, Fred? Okay, so is there anything else you can remember to tell us about day 2, Fred, the day after Summer went missing?
See, I was trying to think.
Okay, hold on. Can I say something? Somebody is saying in the chat she is hiding SD cards. Has there ever been any info to suggest that? Because I know, Donna, you picked up on that, that there were cameras that were used, that there were things being hidden about Dawn. Remember?
Yeah, then what I was seeing in my reading did not involve Jody Sue.
Yeah.
And nothing in any of my readings involves Jody Sue.
But yeah, Fred did have some, he had some go missing when he went in jail. All his stuff was stolen, including the SD cards that would have, everything was stolen off his. But Jody Sue claimed to have a bunch of SD cards stolen too or something, but she didn't even have, I mean,
David was one to put the camera up on the 15th. She had Damien to put it up on the big pine, right hand side of the driveway, the first big pine on the right hand side of the driveway on the 15th. That's the only time I got him on recording anything, was just him asking Jody where to put the camera up, and he disappeared after he put the camera up. He didn't stay around or nothing. He didn't hang out at the bottom of the hill or nothing like the rest of them did. It's like he stayed away.
That is so odd.
I just text you that somebody wanted. It's just that if you want to play it or check it out later.
Yeah. Let me
about
play
Summer's body, or I guess it's about Andy's daughter. I don't know.
Okay.
Somebody told us to play it. I don't know what. I haven't heard it, but
let me grab it.
The evening of the 16th is when they sent TBI in to interview everybody and stuff.
Where did they do that at? Like right in your driveways or what?
Yeah, they just went to everybody's house and separated everybody. I mean, like when they come to my house, they pulled Laura away from me, and they kept her inside and took me outside and took my statement and took her statement.
What kind of questions did they ask you?
Oh, I don't even remember that now.
You don't remember anything? What?
No.
Was it a long interview or?
No, it just more or less what was seen than anything.
So this is the 16th or the 17th that TBI comes in?
The 16th.
Then, so the day after Summer goes missing, TBI shows up. So they knew something was up.
She said the day after TBI shows up.
Yeah.
And they were wanting to keep TBI out, weren't they?
Yeah, that's one reason they wanted me to record and stuff. Hawkins County did was try to keep the TBI from getting involved, because for some reason they didn't want the TBI involved in the case from day one.
Okay, so Hawkins County, led by Sheriff Ronnie Lawson, did not want TBI investigating their case. Is that what you're saying?
Well, Ronnie wasn't one that said it to me. It was Nate Simpson and Gary Lawson.
Jerry Lawson. So Ronnie Lawson has one of his relatives being a sheriff there too.
Yeah.
Gary Lawson is like a. I'm trying to think, who is he to Ronnie? A nephew or something?
And are those the guys that had you bring alcohol up to the house?
That's
up to the wells? Is those two cops you're mentioning?
Yes.
Are they the ones that had you bring alcohol up to the house?
Yes.
And they didn't want TBI involved, they said?
Yeah.
Did they say why?
They didn't say why.
Because Don Wells
They
suspected
just let on like Hawkins County and TBI didn't get along for something, the way they played it.
Oh, I bet. I bet.
Mm-hmm.
They said that they didn't get along that good, so they was trying to keep TBI out of it. So whatever that was supposed to mean.
So that tells me that it probably should be who you should contact, this TBI for sure.
But they just send everything back to Pruitt.
I know, but
it's weird.
Fred didn't work with him at all.
I never worked with Pruitt none on Summer's case. The only time I ever talked to Pruitt was when he came and got me to take me for the polygraph on Cotton. Was the only time I ever even talked to Pruitt, period.
Oh, so they wanted to give you a polygraph to see if you were the one who pushed Don Cotton off what's his name? Roy Cotton off the cliff?
Right, yeah.
Because I know I had said something about a gash or something in the back of his head, but I only know that through other people.
But they also were asking questions.
So you came into his awareness because he heard you were talking about Roy Cotton and he wanted to do a lie detector. And did you go in there and do it? Did you go do the lie detector, Fred?
Well, yeah, he did.
I done the lie detector. It was like, I don't know, about 4 days after I talked to him about Cotton.
He had gone to law enforcement about Cotton Simpson about some things when he was in jail, and then they gave him a lie detector after that to make sure the information he was telling was truthful, I guess.
That's what I'm assuming.
And they also asked about if one of the questions of the lie detector, they asked Fred if he thought that Cotton has something to do with Summer's disappearance. One of the questions.
And what did you say, Fred?
I told him no, because I didn't think he had direct involvement, but he knew something,
Yeah. I don't know if he does either. I don't know one way or another. I just know a lot of people have ended up dead.
He just talked about being at the Wellses and stuff on the 15th, whether he was or not. He said he was,
Roy Cotton said he was also over there at the Wells on the 15th.
Yeah, he said he was at the Wellses on the 15th before Summer went missing, but whether it's true, I don't know. But that's what he told me. Said he was at the Wellses.
Roy Cotton said that before he did. What? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
He was talking about he had been there earlier on the 15th before Summer had went missing and stuff. He was talking about sleeping with mother and daughter, but he didn't say who it was. He just said mother and daughter.
Yeah.
Holy.
That's why we're like Grandis and Candace, or
I don't think too many people will be paying to be with Grandis.
Oh my goodness.
But I mean, whether it's true, I don't know. I mean, that's just what he told me. And then he talked about when they'd find Summer and stuff, they'd know exactly who done it and all that.
But
Roy said that. Roy Cotton said that before he died, that when they find her, they'll know who did it.
Yeah. But he allowed that. He done talked to law enforcement, tried to talk to Hawkins County about it, and they didn't want to hear nothing he had to say.
because
Of course not.
Well, because he's considered mentally incapable or whatever.
Incompetent.
Yeah, he had a guardian and everything who he could chat that took care of his financials.
So he's a little slow. He was a little slow.
Or not slow. I think he had brain damage or something.
He had a lot of brain surgeries and stuff.
And got drugs.
Do you think?
Or brain surgeries from states and stuff.
Do you think that he could dig a hole in the ground that was like a foot deep? Do you think he's
Who, Cotton?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's capable of doing that. Yeah.
Okay. So just for people that don't know, we don't need to say that people
probably in a cave. And then when he talked, he kind of talked like she was probably in a cave. He didn't say she was, and then when he talked about she possibility was kind of in a cave, then when they found him and stuff, see, he was next to a cave and stuff at Laura Run, and he been talking about 2 different caves over there. He just jumped around and talking, and you just kind of had to put things together a little bit.
And so we don't need to say the people's names, but the locals around there believe a particular woman was with Roy Cotton and pushed him off the cliff. And that particular woman is going out with another person, last name Bernard, that has a stammer. That's just a side note, and I'll leave it at that.
That's so interesting.
Well, I just know that they suspect her of his death. They didn't say how or what, but they suspect her.
Yeah, and she's dating a Bernard.
Yeah.
Is that Bernard? Do you know for a fact if he's related to?
I don't know if he's related to Andy Bernard's family or not, but most of the Bernards down in there are related.
Mm-hmm.
And see, he also works at that Eastman Recreational.
Yep.
Beside the Bays Mountain Park.
Donna, that's wild.
The caretaker of the Eastman Recreational.
Yeah. And why do I say that's wild? I say that's wild because Donna, I swear to God, August 2021, she had figured out.
What confused me about that, I seen him like at, I don't know, it was probably 6:30 or 6:45 or so that day.
This Eastman.
That's the only thing confuses me about that.
Wait, oh, you saw the Bernard on at 6:45 the day Summer was missing?
Yeah, between 6:30 and 6:45, somewhere around about.
When you stopped to do a drug drop, you stopped to do a drug drop, and 2 people who normally would have been there, one is the hunchback Doug Gott.
Yeah.
And he was missing that day, and so was another guy, and those guys are both dead as well.
Yes.
And I saw the
because
hunchback
they was actually
at
living
the barn
there
where the handoff took place. Are you guys putting this 2 and 2 together now?
Yep.
It's like a jigsaw puzzle. Clink, 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 clink.
It is. The Eastman connection is a big one to me personally. Now, I know it employs a lot of people around there. That's not lost on me. But you specifically stated these. What were they? They were notable things about the Eastman building. Donna, is that how you found it?
What I said is they're showing me a giant jacks. So in the 60s and 70s, a game we played was you drop a super ball or a bounce ball, and then you see how many jacks you could pick up or something. I don't remember how you play it, but it looked like that to me. And when the listeners hunted it down, it turns out it's molecules. It's like a hand holding molecules. And that's the statue in front of the executive part of Eastman. And then, like, if you're across the river looking at Eastman, you're looking at that executive part. Then off to the left, if you're across from it, is the loading docks. Mm-hmm. Right. And also George Bernard worked there. I don't know if he's retired from there or not as well. But so did this particular Bernard that we're talking about with the stammer.
Yeah.
And I've seen pictures that people's posted on Facebook of Summer being inside that park.
Oh, interesting.
at the Eastman Recreational Park.
So
Which
she
is interesting.
frequented.
Because you have to be.
They've been up there,
You most
and
time have to be family of people that works at the Eastman to get into that park usually, because you usually have to book it to be able to get in there.
Huh.
and there's a gazebo at the water up there. There's a gazebo that where the water's so clear it looks like a mirror image. And I was talking
Yeah,
about
that's
something.
the Maze Mountain Park on top. That is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Instead of the recreational, Eastman Recreational. See, the parks lay right side by Base Mountain Park is on the left-hand side, and the recreation place is on the right-hand side, and they've got it divided two different entrances,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't connect it as far as roads or nothing like that.
This is trippy, man.
I mean,
So
in
trippy.
between them, you know.
I know, it's so stunning. It's like my brain went numb.
Donna, I feel like I'm listening to the Lori Vallow stuff all over again. It's so specific, the things you were picking up, and he's validating right now. Hey, that reminds me, Ziggy sent me a clip. We're going to listen to it right now. Just
Okay.
1 second. Oh, which one?
I didn't check it out first, so hopefully it's.
Okay. Well, either way, I'm sure it'll be interesting.
It's like Jody Sue sneaks them in.
Here we go. Can everybody see it?
Yeah. And then he went back onto the Summers dead body thing. In worse detail.
Hold on, pause. This, what you guys are hearing is Jody Sue's daughter tell the story about Andy, what Andy said. Okay. Let's go back to it. Let me pull it back just a hair. I don't know how long it is. I hope.
And
Is it?
yeah. And then he went back onto the Summers dead body thing. In worse detail. And then yeah. And then he went back onto the Summers
Okay.
dead body thing.
Okay, it's looping. I wish we had.
Well, here I'll
So-
send you the. She just sent me the whole thing.
Oh, please, please, yeah, get it. to
Yeah,
me.
she sent it to me, and she said it starts at
Okay.
it starts at 39 timestamp 39 for the full
39. Okay, I'm gonna grab it, and then guys, I'm gonna play that real quick. It seems.
I didn't know how much was on that one. Sorry.
No, that's good. It's no problem. All right.
Well, I mean, it validates that she was saying that something.
Mhm.
yeah,
I mean, you
and
know.
now she's recanting everything. It's so freaking weird.
Well, I don't want her to do anything that is uncomfortable for her. Just make sure. Okay. Alright, what was it? I was doing. That day. Do not say his name or anything like that. That day he was, whatever, doing his usual roundabout, screaming at people. But that day, I went down to the cabin. I sat outside the cabin while he was, on his escapade about, whatever it was. Then I got into the cabin after he screamed at me about being near the cabin. And then he comes back a few minutes later after storming off. And then he comes down, says something he said to Boog. Which is her brother. Yeah. And then he started screaming again, and then he was like, I already know Summer's dead bodies. I know Summer's dead somewhere in a ditch, I know Candace did it. I know Dawn did it, whatever. And, he was just screaming about that. And then he was like, after that, it was like, I'm so tired of, he mispronounced Aqua Search. And he said, Aqua Search? He screamed, I'm so tired of Aqua Search. You know, holding me back to all these police officers and stuff. And he was on about that. And he was screaming. And, yeah. And then he went back onto the Summers dead body thing. In worse detail. And then
I was asking him to stop. You were asking him to stop. Boogie was.
it wasn't him. He was outside the cabin.
And then he joined into the chorus. And he stood up, trying to leave. Just leave. Get out. Stop. No more crying.
Yeah. And then I slammed the door on him to the cabin. And then he stormed off. And then I guess Book told him to shut up or something outside, and then he left to go be a reckless hazard on the road.
Well, thank you so much for being strong and brave and telling.
So is that girl, Jody Sue's daughter, is she talking about Dawn Wells or Andy Bernard?
Talking about Andy.
Andy.
So Andy was in depth saying he knew Summer was dead and stuff like that.
That's what he said. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's
saying-
according to a Bernard family member.
That's
This
it.
is
Yeah.
Andy's
his daughter.
daughter.
His daughter. Yeah.
And then his son gets a restraining order against him. They had to have believed he was involved.
It's
No.
crazy. And him taking off, I think, is really bizarre. Truly. For
I
Yeah.
don't think he ever went back to work for that place ever again for Hayworth. That's what I don't think people realize is I don't think he ever went back there. Like, I think the last day he worked there was the day Summer went missing, which that should be a big red flag.
Mhm.
Why? You know, why was that the last day? Was that always a plan for that to be the last day? Or did he have this train ride thing all planned, this train thing planned already? Or was that
I know.
for the moment thing?
I wish we could narrow down more about this train or carnival, whatever it is.
Yeah,
go
we
ahead.
guys said.
But that's just like the scream, when I was recording, she talked about the scream and stuff, but she was talking about knowing Summer is gone at 3:20. She specifically said that she knows Summer is gone at 3:20. And then she went on, rambling on while I was recording, and then wanted to say that she heard a scream roughly 5:30. And that's one reason that the law enforcement ruled that as unfounded, because they're like, she can't done know that she's already gone and then hear a scream
A couple hours
a
later.
couple hours later.
Yeah.
Mm.
And so Andy probably told Jody Sue to say that to throw them off
I don't know.
in case they figured
But
out
he
he was
didn't come
really
out.
actually there.
She didn't come out and say that publicly until it was on the news, but it was already recorded the first couple of days of Summer going missing.
Okay. So you heard it from the beginning, Fred, is that right? About the scream, but then only later she
Yeah,
comes
I
out.
recorded her talking about it for law enforcement. That's why they already knew that
Okay.
it was most likely bull crap. The way she said it was talking about Summer already knowing that Summer is already gone at 3:20 was what she stated, and then didn't hear the scream
That's
until
interesting.
like 5:30 roughly.
How would she know that? Police weren't even called till 6:30.
Yeah. I want to bring up another little factoid real quick. It could be filed as speculation, but just hear me out. So remember the lady, Critical K, she used to make YouTube videos. She one time interviewed a lady who had close ties to Grandma Candace at one point. And Grandma Candace had told her that Summer had drank it was like an orange drink that day that she was in the car. So when you see her passed out in the car, it was believed, according to Grandma Candace, that she had drank something that had made her sleepy. And Donna, the reason I'm bringing this up is because you specifically stated you believe she was drugged for transfer.
That's what I saw. I feel sorry for Summer. Like, I just feel outraged at Jody coming on and popping off like that. I just feel outraged. I just feel disgusted.
Well, plus, let's not underestimate the stories Jody Sue has told about Andy and how violent he's capable of being.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Oh yeah, didn't she say he dragged her out of the house, beat her up,
Yep.
shows all these pictures?
Naked.
Fred, from day one, was working with the police to show them everywhere, to help record the Wells and the Bernards.
Okay,
go ahead, Ziggy. What were you going to say?
Oh, I was just thinking. I've been sitting here thinking about how she tried to say, the Bernards didn't, or she is the one that put out that they purchased her.
Oh, okay. So let's go back to the 17th. Did we get to the second day?
Oh yeah. You know what? Hold on, Ziggy. Fred wasn't Fred saying something about a gold? What was he about? What were you about to say? Gold couch or?
Yeah.
Oh, in my reading, there's a gold overstuffed couch. I don't know that made it onto the internet or not.
Okay. Well,
yeah, they were trying to give so when Summer woke up, she didn't recognize the people where she was at, and she was real scared. And they put her on this gold overstuffed couch, and then they were trying to give her a teddy bear so that she would to ingratiate her a little, but she was really scared.
And what's strange about that, there's pictures out there of Summer looks like she's naked on a gold couch.
Really?
Yeah. It's like a gold looking chair.
Gold chair, gold couch, or something like that.
Weird. Do you remember where these photos are? I'd never seen them.
No.
I think we sent it to Donna.
Okay.
But it was just I guess it wouldn't be that one if it was a one that she didn't know, because the way Donna's saying it sounds like it would be a place she didn't know about. Yeah. But this picture would be.
I mean, it's just odd that it was a ghost,
Yeah, that's really weird.
I was trying to find it.
Oh, it's okay.
You can probably find it quick.
Yeah, I'll see if I can find. Okay.
Well, that's one. 1 minute.
Yeah, just send that to me.
Okay. So then, Fred, you may go back to second day. Donna, specifically, where do you want him to continue?
On the 17th, the police came over again 2 days later, and they asked you to record the Wells a second time or third time.
Yeah, they come over again on the 17th, and that's when they wanted me to take alcohol to the Wellses and stuff.
Which in a way is kind of funny, because when I talked to Don Wells, he told me he believed the police were involved, and I asked why he thought that, and he said because they brought alcohol to Candace.
Yeah,
he said, why would they bring my wife alcohol after her kid's missing or whatever? So he said he believed the police were involved.
Well, they took it to them, thought they would loosen their lips the way they talked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If they got drunk, and then that's why they wanted me to wait 45 minutes. They figured that they would go ahead and just get sloshed, and then I could record, and maybe they'd slip up on some stuff was the way they talked.
Getting some loose lip. Yeah.
So they brought the alcohol, and did you go up and record? Did you wait the 45 minutes and then go up and record?
Yeah, I waited 45 minutes and went to record. And when I got there, Dawn actually wasn't home. Candace was outside on the phone. And then when I walked up, I asked her about Dawn, where Dawn was, if he's home or whatever. And she said that he wasn't there. And then almost immediately I could hear somebody coming, and he pulls up, and then she goes straight in the house. And then me and him's just standing there talking a few minutes. And then that's when the life come over to recorder or whatever. And then I just kind of shut it down at that point. I tried to play it off as it was my phone, because I was kind of pissed and thought it was the law enforcement that had done something and tried to
sabotage.
Yeah, set me up to let them know that I was recording, because I was kind of got upset over that and kind of pissed off. So I just shut it down and started back off the driveway kind of. And that's when they was coming up the driveway to see what was going on themselves.
Okay. You're being.
Did Dawn say anything that's notable?
He just looked at me real weird when life come over it, but I didn't get nothing out of him beforehand. Really?
So Don Wells is pretty street smart, you guys. He's been in prison more than once, probably. And
I mean, I didn't get to
And
recording just a few minutes before the life come over it, and I just shut it down because I felt like a lie was trying to may have set me up or something to let them know that I was recording. And then they're like, they don't know what happened, you know, why it happened like that. They was curious. That's why that they had came to try to see what was going on.
Gotcha. Donna, I have a question for you. We have a super chatter, Dixie in Tennessee mountains. Thank you so much for the donation. She says, what about the willow tree? Meaning at Donna. Donna, I don't remember a willow tree. Do you?
Yeah, that's one clue I have not been able to figure out.
Willow tree.
And that's why I want to look around the place where Andy went to work on the train. That is one clue I have not been able to figure out.
Can you give me context in how you saw it? Because I'm kind of drawing a blank on it. I guess it's been a while, 4 years.
I can't remember, but I know what she's talking about. It's just one clue in one of my readings.
Okay.
And I've never been. So if you have Reverend Donna Seraphina at gmail.com, if anybody has any ideas about the willow tree.
Yeah.
If I don't remember the context right now, but
okay, that's okay.
If anyone has any clues about it, they can email me.
Great. And sorry to interrupt you, Fred. You can carry on, and you and Donna.
I mean, there's a place named Willowbrook.
Oh, what were you saying, Fred? Okay, so they renamed a street up there in the Ben Hill Hollow, right?
Well, it's on Reservoir Road, actually about next street down from Jody Sue, named Willowbrook.
Oh, the next street down from Jody Sue used to be called Willowbrook?
Yes.
And then what's it called now? They changed the name?
Well, it used to be a different name. It was Willow something, and Weeping Willow or something like that. And then they finally changed it to Willowbrook when they added the rest of them apartments and stuff in there.
So it used to be
Weeping Willow. Where exactly is that? Where exactly is that road?
Where exactly is that?
It's on Reservoir Road.
Reservoir Road?
Yes. It's, I'm trying to think what streets, Reservoir and Willowbrook, what would be Willowbrook Road.
Reservoir and Willowbrook Road?
Yeah, I'm probably
It used to be called Weeping Willow Road.
Donna, didn't you say Whispering Willow also?
Yeah,
I don't
years
remember.
ago, it used to be that years ago, and they changed it to Willowbrook now.
Oh, it used to be Whispering Willow?
Whispering Willows.
What?
Yeah, I think that's what I said. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, she did say Whispering Willow. That's what I was saying.
It used to be Whispering Willows.
Oh my gosh, guys, that is directly from Donna's reading. I'm not kidding.
But,
So what's it like there? Is there a lot of foliage and ravines and stuff off this? What's it called now?
Willowbrook? Back into Base Mountain again.
Oh my god.
Going to Base Mountain again.
Okay, Ryan finds truth. You want to go find something? Go look up there.
The interstate and recreational place and stuff is.
Yeah, that's fascinating to me.
Because that's like there's almost no clues that we haven't figured out what they are. But that one I didn't figure out. And I forgot Fred did tell me that about a week ago when a couple of weeks ago when I first started talking to him again.
To me, it reminds me of Trapper, Donna, all over again.
Trapper Lane.
Trapper Lane. You kept saying Trapper. Sure enough.
There's like 5 readings in the Lori Vallow case where every time I'd go, and there comes a trapper. He's not a hunter. He's a trapper. He looks like Daniel Boone. And that's kind of shows how things go across or how things are shown as I'm seeing an actual trapper. But the next street from where the children were buried was called Trapper Lane. And no matter how many hours I was willing to spend on Google Maps, I could not find it because the state had renamed it a number, but the locals left the sign up that says Trapper Lane, and one of the locals sent it to me. They said, oh, all the locals still call this Trapper Lane.
So crazy, man.
Yeah, there's I'm sending it to Lauren, but there's a housing community right there called Willowbrook. I'm looking. I just sent it to Lauren.
Yeah, let
I
me
was
look.
just checking it out on the map.
before he,
Willowbrook Community,
Okay.
and it's right there, and that's right near Jody Sue.
next
Says
street
area under
on the left,
surveillance.
32 is going towards Kingsport.
Is there anything significant about that area that you can think about?
I think so.
I'm wondering.
I mean, I just trying to think of places that she was mentioning, you know, because she mentioned Whispering Willows, and that used to be years ago Whispering Willows before they moved or changed it to Willowbrook.
That's crazy.
It is.
Because I do think she did bring up Whispering Willow or something, because a Weeping Willow, a Whispering Willow.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, I remember calling it the Whisper Willows or something.
Yeah.
Something I would have to look in there.
Yeah, you
I
said
just taking my brain trying to think.
They all deserve the death penalty. Every one of them that took part in the chain of events which led to harming and disappearance of Summer Wells deserves the death penalty. That's my opinion. Okay.
No, this is not a game. This is dead serious. This is not people's entertainment. We're genuinely trying to find answers to these questions that we've had for years about what happened to Summer Wells. Donna, real quick, Dixie in Tennessee Mountains. Thanks again, Dixie, for the $2. She says Reservoir and Diana Lane. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
We'll
that's
have
where
to
that
look that up
Whispering.
later.
Okay, yeah, look it up later, Donna. It could be important.
Yeah, that's right
Yeah,
there
we'll
where I
look it up.
sent you.
Thank you
Lauren.
very much, Dixie.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dixie. Appreciate it.
It's right there where I sent you. It's right that same Weeping Willow community. What she's
Okay.
talking about.
It's hard for me thinking anything really.
Yeah.
I know Don on the 16th too. Me and Ziggy was talking about it earlier. He brought me some cigarettes and stuff that day. He brought me 2 packs of cigarettes, and he's like, "Well, I didn't want you to take and be without cigarettes and be mad at me and stuff because you can't get in and out." And I didn't think nothing about it at the time, but we think about it earlier. That's kind of weird too. You doing that, and why are you worried about that? Me being mad at you or whatever over your daughter going missing and me not being able to get out and get cigarettes or whatever. I mean,
Yeah, that's the first time I heard about that was today. You said that,
Yeah.
and I was like, yeah, that's interesting. I'm glad you brought that up because, yeah, Dawn brought him some cigarettes just out of nowhere and was like, I don't want you to be mad at me that you can't get out. It's like, what the heck?
Weird.
That's kind of like on the 16th.
Well, he's wanting
or-
to see what
Yeah.
Fred says. He wants to
Yeah.
know what Fred saw.
Yes.
yeah.
That's the bottom line. He wants to know
He's
what Fred
probing.
saw.
Probing.
I mean,
Yeah.
he'd never do something like that before. It's not like they were
No.
close at all or
No.
anything.
That's the first time he ever done that.
But he was asking you on the 15th if you saw Andy on the road.
Yeah,
That was
I mean,
weird.
that was
was very
one
weird.
He
Pacific
asked you
time,
that?
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah,
which
John
one-
Wells.
that was the night of.
Running,
wasn't it?
Yeah, the night of.
damage control there.
That's weird.
That's the only
So the-
person he asked about is if he saw Andy Bernard on the road. Because so
That's
it
what
must have
got
got
the-
back from Andy to Dawn that, oh shit, Fred saw me on the road. Andy must have went and told Dawn, and that's probably why Dawn asked Fred if he saw him on the road to see what Fred would say. We even know he knew already because obviously he had talked to Andy or somebody. How did he know that?
Yeah, it's hard to remember everything that we talked about. You know, I mean, some
know.
days I'll be sitting there thinking, and stuff will come to me that we had talked about and stuff. And because it wasn't just one time he was there. It ain't just one time you got to think about and remember everything he said. It's a blue million times he was there in the first 4 or 5 days. You know, I mean, it was like you just couldn't get rid of him. He'd leave, and then you think he's going to be gone.
He was
And then
paranoid.
he right back in 30
That's
minutes or
weird.
an hour. And
Yeah, he was
Just-
paranoid about what you knew or what you were. I'm telling you.
Gosh, that's so bizarre.
and
to
he
me.
did get to be a nuisance. And we finally told him just not to come back, you know.
Wow.
So every
Because-
witness up in there who's seen Andy Bernard is dead pretty much, other than Fred, who was arrested, went to jail for drugs, and luckily was taken out of that place by Ziggy and moved to another state. That's why Fred's alive. Fred is the most important witness at this point that we
That's how I
have.
think too.
Made the scapegoat for sure. And that's why I'm,
Don even stated that he tried to set me up and stuff.
yeah.
Yeah. So
bragged about it.
John says that, and then Roy has been going in those hills his entire life.
And see, a lot of people's been interested in wanting him to do the Fields Road property, the 162 Fields Road property, and he's failed to show anything of that property. And that's what most people's interested in.
So Ryan Finds Truth, was he with Andy that day when he was filming the Fields Road property, or did he just go there
they
by
never
himself?
showed the Fields Road property. They showed Fields Road, but when they got up to Fields Road property, they turned the camera completely away from the previous property and stuff and never showed nothing of it. And they've never showed no videos or nothing of searching at the Fields Road property, period.
And people keep
They have
asking
at
for that.
125 on Ben Hill, but not the 162 Fields Road property.
So Ryan, was he with Andy that day when they drove up on Fields Road and then didn't show the property?
Yeah, because they drove to the end of the Fields Road. They went past Andy's parents' property on Fields Road and went to the end of the road and pulled up to a gate. And Andy gets out and he tells Ryan, "Oh, I've got a key to the gate and stuff." And then he gets out and can't get through the gate, which I didn't know he didn't have a key because that's forestry department. That it's a some kind of, and they ain't nobody got keys to that gate.
Donna,
so do you think he was playing Ryan, or do you think Ryan was complicit in this? Because they purposely did not show Andy's parents' property up there.
No, they've never showed that piece of property as I know of on any video of him.
No, it seems like Brian's purposely trying to help Andy. That's what it seems like.
Man,
I hate people who abuse children. I really do. Children are so helpless. Yeah, they're so here finally someone, she's supposed to go to kindergarten that year. They can't have that happen from all the abuse they've done to her. The CPS is coming. It's, and like what Fred said, he goes, "Oh, well, they would have given her back, but no, they wouldn't have given her back because she probably wouldn't have been able to identify all the people anyway." So they wanted to do what they did. They wanted to do it. They're bad, really bad. The whole thing is repulsive to the point where
summer fish food. That's gross.
They called summer fish food.
Yeah, Don Wells called summer fish food. Oh, she's probably fish food. That's what he said one time live.
He said a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
The resurrection thing really throws me off, that within hours of her disappearance, he's saying he's going to see her in the resurrection. I'll just never lose sight of that. That is so nuts. But he says that he, in my opinion, knew. He knew
she was gone. He knew she was gone.
Yeah. And there's actually
going to be killed. Maybe he even knew she was going to be killed when he did it. Maybe. Well, no, because I saw that she was supposed to go into some trafficking ring, but because it went high profile, they decided to do the second thing. And I'm mad. I'm excuse me if you're like, why is this lady so furious? I'm furious. I'm mad. I'm furious that this was even allowed to happen, that this did happen, and the way people act, and then it infuriates me
completely.
I almost feel like I need to apologize for being so mad. I wish I knew the Bible verse by heart where Jesus says, "Those who hurt a children should have a millstone around their neck and put in the water."
Yeah.
Okay, that's the death penalty. And it was reserved for people who hurt children.
Oh, I'm all for it. Yeah, definitely. Ziggy, do you have to go right now?
Yeah, we have to go.
I figured you did.
Appointments, but
okay,
we could still have.
We're gonna have to do a part 3.
Yeah, we could.
We're only to day 2.
I know, and there's so much info. I feel like, especially.
The key is with Fred here. The key is with Fred, and I knew that. As soon as I started talking with him and he knew what I was talking about from my readings that had never been uploaded, and I was like, in my mind, I'm like, oh my God, this guy can solve this case. And I got like chills on both legs.
Donna, would you tell the story real quick about how you connected with Ziggy and how you realized that you and Fred could come together and really figure this stuff out? Will you?
Well, the interesting thing is, 2 or 3 years ago, whenever Fred was in jail, I think is the first time Ziggy contacted me. And at that time, it was just all I saw was Jerry Springer, and I wanted nothing to do with this case with the Jerry Springer YouTubers, right?
Right.
And then I agreed to talk to Fred while he was in jail. And I told him I'm recording this and I might put it on my YouTube channel and stuff. So we had a conversation. I don't even remember what it was about. I do remember feeling like he answered all my questions. He didn't hesitate. He was cooperative. But then I just kind of forgot about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then a couple of weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago, Ziggy contacted me again, and I can't remember why, on Facebook. And I thought, I'm not going to probably do more readings on that case. I'll just give you all my files. And then I gave them a bunch of files. And then Fred is hard of hearing, so that wouldn't work. But so anyways, I said, there's a couple things out of a couple readings I never uploaded. And I started describing the handoff. He knew exactly who I was talking about. Doug Gott with the hunchback, and he hangs around right across from John Smith at that barn. And he also hangs around Stardust. John Smith, of course, Andy Bernard's uncle, now dead. Doug Gott, now dead. Roy Cotton, now dead. They're all dead. Everyone who saw something is dead except for Fred, because he's in another state. That's why he's alive. Mm-hmm. He is the only living witness that we need right now. And he knew who I was talking about. And then I said, do you know anyone with a stammer? I described that. He knew exactly instantly knew who I was talking about.
Yeah.
And then he pointed out, and his girlfriend is the one all the locals think that pushed Roy Cotton off the cliff or whatever. Right. And then I'm like, oh my God. But it's like when I had the thought that Fred Hill actually could solve this case, I literally had chills over both of my legs. So we just were like, we need to talk to Lauren and go live on this,
That's so cool. Yeah.
I think people need to listen to Fred.
I do too.
And stop listening to the Bernard. If their last name is a Bernard, don't even bother listening. It's all what's that called? Distraction and diversion and
diversion.
Forget about any of these idiots, total complete idiots who are out there and just making this into a joke.
Right.
Forget about them.
Hey, Ziggy.
It's not a joke. I don't see it as a joke. I saw exactly what happened to that child, and it's not a joke. It's just not.
Ziggy, listen, I want you to feel free to go if you need to.
All right, guys.
Up here too. Yeah. I don't want to keep you so that you're late for your appointment. But thank you again so much, Ziggy and Fred. You guys are a wealth of knowledge. Love having you on. Donna, I love having you on. You guys
Thank you for having me. Go listen to part 1. It is shocking. It was even shocking to me. There was information, even though I feel like I know quite a bit, there was information I didn't know that mattered. Information that matters.
Absolutely. Thanks as always, Donna. It was great to do this live stream with you, and interesting, right?
If anyone is attacking Fred Hill or attempting to discredit Fred Hill, I can tell you that they have been affected by the people who have something to do with Summer missing.
Right.
I'll just put it that way.
Yeah, I know. Okay, Donna, I'll let you go. Thank you, everybody. Please be sure to hit the like button on your way out. I really appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Definitely hit the like, and thank you very much, Lauren.
Oh, always, Donna. Great to see you.
Okay, bye.
Bye.